I think this is what we expected the least out of anything to come out of Konami today. Just shadow dropped out of nowhere, no real announcement or post. They're doing a sequel to Rarity Collection. The best set ever printed is getting a repeat. And really quickly, this is like a 6-month turnaround on this in terms of like production. And you can tell that in the announcement with them even saying, yeah, we rushed to make this right away. And they even put this out so quickly, they had to cut back on the number of packs in the box and double the number of cards in a pack just to get this out in time. I think it's safe to say this is probably... The Rarity Collection 1 was probably the best-selling set Konami's ever put out. Ever. And that's why this is, got them so panicked to get out something else that'll sell just as well. Again, I think you're probably likely to see a lot more misprints in this because of that, but... Anyway, let's talk about the main meat of it, let's talk about the cards in here and everything, and let's speculate on what's going to come out. But first, I do want to quickly apologize for the sort of lack of videos so far this month. There should be some stuff going out this week now. Would have been something going out today, but of course this dropped, so unfortunate timing on that. Konami really doesn't want me to release those videos, I guess. But I will get those out very soon. So look forward to that. There's got a lot of stuff in the tank, a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to do with you guys. But yeah, let's have a look at the set and talk about what's going on in here. And I got a few things I can speculate about what's going to be in here. And yeah, it's 9 cards per pack here with less packs per box. I think that mathematically that's like 16 packs per box. Someone could correct me. I didn't see a mention that's specifically on here actually. But yeah, so the stuff that we know is going to be in here is Access Code, Souls, which you really need the reprint, the Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman. Makes sense, they never really got reprinted and they're getting that weird, like, semi-support in Legacy of Destruction. Droll, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Mourner, Phantasme, and then the Planets and the Visas Law, IP in the Alt Art, Rescue Cat in the Alt Art, and Apo in the Alt Art. Probably going to be seeing the Alt Arts as well. And the tension of this is a little weirder because when this got announced originally in the TCG, the original set, we could just look at the OCG set to see every single card in it, but I can't do that this time because there is no OCG product. They just made this. All the choices in here are going to be completely different from what they did last time, so we're not going to know until it's like close to release, which is really, really scary for like selling expensive cards and stuff. There's going to be a lot of panic sales and things. But also just, what's going to come out, I think. But we can at least speculate, and I've got a big list of cards that we can speculate with. Yeah, I quickly put this together, just a sort of rough list of sort of things I think they could include in here. There's a lot of stuff I probably missed on here, but this is just what jumped to my mind as things they could include. Things that are likely, things that are pretty unlikely, but just some stuff I wanted to talk about. I think, first off, we can talk about things based on the ban list. They brought back Infinity Archfiend, they brought back Pank to 2, we got Terratop back to 2, the Shufflers are still legal, so they're probably not getting rid of those for a while. They brought back Snatch Steal. I think this is pretty much guaranteed, given the Change of Heart reprint in the previous Rarity collection. We could also get, Mind Control, because that came back to 3. And, that's probably better value for people to get a card that's at 3 rather than at 1, but I think it's still fairly likely that we get something like Snatch Steal. And they didn't hit Runic in any way, so probably getting some Runic cards in here, like Fountain was probably the most likely, maybe Hugin and stuff, but I think this is most likely. And with the Visas cards, I think the Visas cards they go for, obviously Visas is going to be in here. He's been reprinted a couple times recently, but I didn't stop them from reprinting Albaz in the last one after being an ulti and stuff and printing like 4 sets, so I think it's pretty likely. And in terms of like which Visas cards they include in here, I think it's more likely to be something like all the Little Hearts, because they're all the cards that are still at full legality, the 4 of them. And it would fit with Visas. Whereas if they went for the others, the issue is with like they can't do a Rise Heart because it's banned. I don't think they're going to go Kit Close because it's banned. But they could do Kaleido Heart maybe, but then if they did the big hearts, then they can't do Rise, so probably not. In that case, they would maybe try hard if they do that. Maybe they'll just do pick random ones, but if they go for like a theming, it's probably going to be the 4 hearts. Lubellion's still an expensive card, and it's had its tin reprint, so if they want to lower the price of it, this is the only way they're going to be able to really do it. Quem does have a tin reprint coming up, most likely, but they do like putting these cards in high rarity. They had put Ecclesia in the last one, Iris Sword Soul in the last one, so they do like putting the Albaz Law women in here, so I think it's pretty fair to say that the one that's seeing a lot of play and is very, very good and is very, very popular probably still going to be expensive after the tin print, is, yeah, a fair one to put in here. Was there anything else in the Apple's Law? Oh, yeah, Dispater. This is the most likely. Yes, this will be in tins, but this is a card people really want in high rarity, and it's a very, very good generic card. It's going to see play for a lot of years to come. And on the same vein as that, we got Chaos Angel. Again, could be in the tin, but if it's not, Garura, I think, is basically guaranteed in this. I think this is probably the most likely generic extra card to be in here. And there's a few things in here you might think are a little odd, like, why is Mechaba in here? I think with the fact that they reprinted specifically a lot of Sky Striker stuff last year, in the lieu of the Sky Striker manga, and we know that Magistus is getting a manga, and in the Magistus lore is also the Endymion stuff, the Invoked stuff, the Witchcrafters. Yeah, I think it's very likely that we get Invoked support, and if we're getting Invoked support, they might want to reprint the best card that we still don't have the alt art of yet, and this would be a good opportunity for them to give us this alt art, as well as the original Mechaba reprint, as they're doing other alt arts in here as well. But I think the most likely sprite card is Sprite Blue. This guy is just not been reprinted yet. They never reprinted any sprite cards, and they're clearly reprinting some tier cards with the inclusion of Pill Rhino, so I think this is basically guaranteed, and I can see them doing something like Gigantic alongside that. But there's a lot of stuff that still could be in here. You know, I mentioned Snatch Deal, but there's also, you know, just raw vanilla Poly could be really nice to get in a bunch of rarities. Super Poly could be good. Ultimate Slayer, I think, is extremely likely. Thrust, having just been reprinted, being reprinted again, I think it's fairly likely. 1-for-1, Pot of Avarice, we've got Raigeki is probably a pretty likely one. Duster, I think, is, like, very high up on my ratings, like top 5 cards to be in here. They did Dark Law in the previous one, I remember. They did, like, a couple hero cards, so I don't think doing a, you know, fan favorite hero card is that unlikely. You know, there's Card Destruction, Instant Fusion, Book of Moon, Gold Sock. I can see them doing maybe a couple of Forbidden Spells. There's always the thing you got to bear in account that there was cards in that set that weren't very good. There was cards that we weren't very happy to see in there, but it was like a handful. So there will still be a couple of cards like, like, you know, Chalice I can see, Dark Hole I can see, Charged Light Brigade I can see going in there with the stuff coming up soon. And in the same vein of that, actually, I can very much see them putting U-Bell in here, as we do still need a U-Bell reprint. And yeah, the Light Swan stuff around the corner, I can see some Light Swan card, maybe Judgment Dragon, maybe Charged Light Brigade being in here as well. Yeah, I think, like, if I'm gonna go for my top 5, it's probably Visas, Blue, Chaos Angel, Garura, Duster. But I think any range of these could be in there. I don't think it's that unlikely to see a bunch of these. It's going to be really hard to predict because, yeah, we're just not going to get any real reveals for this until they start doing box openings, most likely. So we're just going to be sitting on this until May, just going, ooh, what's coming out, what's coming out? But, yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm really hopeful now, and I'm going to be coping on this for the next few months, that they ban original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye next list. Because if they do, all of these cards are like the main cost of the game right now, and pretty much if they banned Original Sin, Snake Eye, the only expensive cards left in the game at that point are like SP Typhon. And I think if that's for any investment in the game is buy these 2 cards that you can put in any deck in the game and they're both at 1, and they're both at 1-ofs, I think that's like fine. I think, like, yeah, it's not ideal, but if that's the only investment you have to make, very, very, very coping on that. But if they did that, it'd be great. So maybe May is the best month ever in recorded history for this game. Who knows? We'll find out in a few months. See you then. But in the meantime, see ya in probably tomorrow's video. Bye.